Today, March 15th, is Long COVID Awareness Day, and I just thought I would share a little bit about my story. So it was April of 2022. I was teaching music up here in northern Westchester, and I got sick with COVID. My husband was a stay-at-home dad. My kids were only a little over 2 years old at the time. They had just turned 2. And I brought home COVID to everybody. We all got sick. I got it worse, and I didn't take care of myself. I was watching my kids, taking care of them, of course. And 2 weeks later, my kids were better. My husband was better. I was not getting better. I visited the hospital a number of times. I attempted to return to work 2 times in May, and then I didn't return. I knew that I wasn't able to get better. My main symptoms then were severe fatigue and also just lots of headaches and migraines, and I couldn't breathe. I mean, I could hardly be on the phone for more than a few minutes before I felt like I was going to pass out. I couldn't eat. I basically was not functioning. I took the summer to focus on recovering, of course, and there was a lot of pressure to return to work for many reasons. So I attempted to go back to work in September as a teacher, and it lasted about 6 weeks. 6 weeks of pushing myself, of spending every weekend basically sleeping. And I had a yoga mat and pillows in my classroom, and I would rest in between classes. I would sleep during my lunch, and I would lay there at the end of the day before I could get up to go home. What stopped me in my tracks was when I collapsed in the middle of my kitchen holding my daughter. So fainting, POTS is a big issue that I've had. If you're unfamiliar, it's basically your blood pressure drops all of a sudden, your heart rate goes up, and you just fall. I haven't lost total consciousness, but fainted and couldn't get up many times since having long COVID. And so my whole life got turned upside down because of this. Lost my job, and my family had a lot of pressure for a lot of reasons. I couldn't take care of myself, couldn't take care of my kids. And, we had a little help, a lot of support from our family. So about a year after first getting sick, I was starting to feel a little better. I started certain things like intermittent fasting and physical therapy. I started seeing a different doctor. I saw so many doctors, every kind of doctor, so many doctors that said, you're fine, which a lot of long COVID patients deal with. We have loads of symptoms that some medical professionals think are in our head. So by the following fall, so fall of 23, I was finally able to start having a little bit more energy. I started teaching some yoga classes online, and I took a part-time job, which I was really loving, and it was temporary. And then January of 2024, the part-time job finished, and all of a sudden it was like a wave hit, and all those symptoms came back again. The fatigue, falling, brain fog, headaches. It was debilitating. I feel like I'm not necessarily sharing exactly how deeply it was affecting me. And since January of this year, it's been up and down. I have good days, I have bad days. And then there are days in between. A lot of the time I need a nap in the middle of the day. So I'll have energy in the morning, take a nap, and then I'm able to kind of take care of my kids in the evening. Weekends, I push myself more so I could be a good mom. And then Monday is literally a recovery day where that's the day that I rest all day. Yeah, it's interesting, this condition. You know, I am a person that's very optimistic and positive, and I feel like I have to have that perspective that I am healing, I am getting better every day. And that's hard. It's hard to do when you're not feeling well, to believe that you're healing, to believe that you're feeling better. The main things that have helped me the most is meditation and yoga, the intermittent fasting and exercising in a way that is conducive to my body, which is not cardio, it's not exerting myself. Because the largest issue or trigger, I should say, of my symptoms is that when I exert myself too much, that's when the fatigue hits. So it's called post-exertion malaise, which for an ordinary person, perhaps if you went for a really good run, you feel good. If I tried to go for a run, I would fall down. So I manage in a way that is conducive to a new life, a new way of living, which is slower. I have a lot more stillness and a lot more time to myself, to do lots of thinking and things like that. I do more writing. So I feel like long COVID has given me new opportunities. I like to teach in my classes that you can choose to see an obstacle as, you know, a barrier, something stopping you, or you can choose to take an obstacle and see it as an opportunity. You know, as hard and as difficult as that is, it seems simple to me what option I want to take. I don't want to choose the option where I add more suffering to my life. The physical condition already gives me a certain amount of suffering, and I can choose to not exponentially add to that with my perspective and my belief system. So long COVID is real. It is something that is really complex. It's different for everybody. I've spoken with so many people with long COVID over the last 2 years, and everybody's symptoms are different. If you're watching this right now and you don't have long COVID, you actually might. They say it's 1 in 6 people, and a lot of people that had COVID, whether you're symptomatic or not, have had lingering symptoms that, you know, you might not be able to trace to your infection of COVID, but it's really crazy. And all right, well, that's long enough. So if you care to know more about my story, I'm happy to share more. You can ask me any question. I'm an open book. All right. I wish everybody well. I wish everybody healing. And let's not forget long COVID. We need to support the research out there. Thank you.